Do you know about the Bennington Triangle?
No.
No. So essentially, the Bennington Triangle. You know about the Bermuda Triangle, right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
obviously.
everybody knows about it. So obviously, the Bermuda Triangle is between like Florida and Cuba and stuff like that. So this one is essentially the same thing, but on land and in the United States. So this one, the Bennington Triangle, essentially it's in Maine, over there by New York, and the Bennington Triangle is one of America's strangest and most chilling mysteries, right? So it's a like I said, it's a region. Oh, actually in Vermont, it's a region in Vermont where people have vanished without a trace, and then also people coroner reports see like eerie lights and also like some creatures supposedly or
Lights?
like maybe like UFO lights or like weird lights or like orbs.
And they just disappear
They
with
just
creature sightings.
and creature sightings or like and also that people that go in there they just mysteriously vanish.
That's like Stranger Things.
Hey, Stranger Things, right? And so the term Bennington Triangle was first coined by author folklorist Joseph A. And this was like in the 1990s. So he noticed that like a bizarre number of unexplained disappearances. So like people like hikers, hunters, and stuff like that would just like disappear or have paranormal encounters. And this is usually happening around like Glastonbury Mountain in southwestern Vermont. And the triangle is roughly formed by like Bennington West. Like, you know how the triangle has three connections, right?
Yeah.
So like the three connections will be in the triangle will be Bennington, which is the west side of the triangle, Shaftesbury, which is the east side of the triangle, and Somerset North, which is the north side of the triangle. And at the heart of the triangle is Glastonbury Mountain. It's just like a huge mountain, right? And in this place, the local because you know how like Native Americans have been living here for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And you know how they have stories like
Yeah.
about the land. And in this certain place, the local the Native Americans are called Abenaki, and they believe that this part of the area has been cursed to evil spirits, has been cursed, and also that evil spirits live there. And this is the thing where it's like really weird, because like I understand if people miss with like if people go missing within like long like periods of time, but this was only like 5 years. So a couple people went missing within these 5 years. So between 1945 and 1950, at least five people mysteriously vanished in the region. They never were seen again. Between 1945 and 1950, five people vanished without a trace while hiking or passing through the Bennington Triangle, right? No bodies, no clues, just gone without a trace, basically, right? So I'm gonna tell you like some of the people that went missing, right? So for the first one, it will be the middle. Her name was Middle Rivers, and then this is the thing where it doesn't make any sense because like, okay, I understand if you're like from across the country and you go there and you don't know the terrain, you don't know the mountain range, you know what I mean? But these are usually people who are like local or like hunters. Like, bro, if you're a hunter, you're gonna know how to get up the mountain, where the river is, how to get back home. You know what I mean?
They know their way.
They're gonna know their way. So for Middle Rivers, so she was a hunter who disappeared with like and she was experienced. They were saying that she was experienced. She was an experienced hunter, and she was leading a group of hunters through the mountains. So she was you know how there's a group of hunters within the group, and then the lead person is like experienced and is leading them. Hey, these are the best areas to hunt at, you know, and that he was walking the group near that she was walking the group and that she was getting ahead of the group and she was like, hey, let me just get ahead, see if I can see anything. And next thing you know, vanished.
She's gone?
Gone. Never seen again. Right? And then for the second one, the Paula Volden, she's the out of all the cases, I'm gonna say she's the most well known, like the most famous one. And then the most famous disappearance. And that one was in 1946. So Paula was a college student from Bennington College, and she went for a hike. You know, college students, they always go for a hike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of stress with the studies and all that. She went for a hike hike on a long trail, and several people saw her walking along the trail, and then but she never returned. So that was the last sighting of her walking on the trail within the triangle.
Damn.
And another one will be James Tedford. And this is like, I feel really bad for this one because like the man who vanished from a bus, right, in 1949. So he was a World War II veteran. I'm like, bro, if you survived World War II, you've seen some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be like, oh, lights or a creature. I mean, you're like, you went through World War II, right? And so he lived in Bennington's soldier home. He was on board a bus in South Albans and in Vermont, heading home to his house in Bennington. And then witnesses saw him on the bus right before the final stop, and he was gone.
He never got off.
Never got off, supposedly. Supposedly he never got off, right? And then he was just gone, right? And then another one would be Paul Jepson. So Paul Jepson was a young boy, the boy who vanished in 1950. Paul was playing near his mother's truck when he mysteriously disappeared. So it's like, it's not a certain age, you know what I mean? It's just like from young kids to young adults to college students to like elderly people. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have a certain
It's
age
like
group. Anybody, right? And then another one will be, so this one was the only case that the body was actually found. But this one is weird because they found their body, right? So this one, her name was Frida Langer, and the only body that was ever found, and this was in 1950. So this is according to witnesses. Frida fell into a creek while hiking with her cousin. So they were going hiking, and then she fell into the river. Obviously, her clothes were soaked wet, so she went back to the campsite to get some new clothes. And on the way back to her campsite, gone. That was the last time they ever saw her. So either she made it, and then on the way back, she vanished, or she never made it to the campsite. But this is what doesn't make any sense. So months later, so obviously when they search for a body, they go through like certain areas and all that. So obviously when she disappeared, they searched areas around the area that she disappeared. But months later, her body was found in an open field in an area that has already been searched. So when she disappeared, they were searching those areas and they found nothing. But then after a couple of months, they found her body in the same area where they already searched. So the body wasn't there at first. So something or someone must have put her body there knowing that they already searched that area. You know what I mean?
You think it was like watching like the people that were trying to find them?
I think, think about it, right? If you go missing, you're gonna hear it in the news. Like in the phones, you get text messages, Amber Alerts, and all that. You might get like a community, hey, we're gonna search for such and such. You know what I mean? And do you want to like volunteer to search? Maybe he or she or the creature. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It just like if it's a person, what I was thinking is maybe the person volunteered to see where they're searching at to find out. Smart. It would be smart, right? To find out, hey, they searched this area already. They're gonna put it on their map. We already looked for her in this area. Nothing. So let me put her body in there. That would make sense, right?
Yeah.
And that way nobody can be like, oh, we searched this, nothing happened, so we're not gonna find her there.
But it's like weird, like why this specific person you want to like show?
Well, maybe whoever I don't know, a creature, whatever you can say, thought the person or the victim was vulnerable, or you know what I mean?
You think it's
and then not only that, it never happens with multiple people. It's just with one person. And obviously when they found her body, you know how like they take her to the hospital and the morgue and all that, and then they decide how did she pass away? You know what I mean? Was it like blood trauma or heart disease, or how did she die? And until this day, her cause of death is unknown. So they didn't find the reason how she died.
Like no injuries?
Like no injuries, nothing.
You think it's human? I don't think it's human.
No? You don't think it's human?
I don't think it's human.
Do you think a creature or something like that?
Probably.
I mean, think about it. Like those Native American people, like in their like, cause like the skinwalkers and like all that stuff. That's not funny. That's like it's real. I believe in that. Cause think about it, they've been here for long periods of time, the Native Americans, and if they say something is cursed or like evil spirits or like demonic stuff is like connected to the land, and you're like hiking through it, or like let's say for example, like I know for a fact that if you walk through like a ceremonial place, like where Native Americans are like buried, and you mess with them, like the stuff, I know for sure they actually haunt you and like do stuff to you for sure. Cause think about it, right? Like this is like from the 1800s, 1900s. You come up on a grave, you're walking through it, and you're like getting stuff out, like feathers and stuff like that. Like that could be, you can be cursed. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. What do you think?
I believe like the Native Americans say, because like they've been here way before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've been here for a long time, and if they know, hey, for that area or that triangle, don't go there, or like, hey, yo, once you get to those trees, that mountain, don't climb it, because there's a lot of stories of people going missing or seeing things and stuff like that.
I don't know, cause like I've never heard of like people disappearing without a trace.
But that's what I'm saying. So they just disappear without nothing, and then without a trace or anything. So once they were seen, that was the last time they were ever seen. And then not only that, like only one body was found.
Cause like the smartest serial killers you'll ever hear of, they have a trace on them.
They have a trace,
But
or
this
maybe,
one, no.
or usually they have So the thing with serial killers, they usually have like a specific victim. Like you'll be either like all females or all young kids. They'll have a specific like victim. You know what I mean? Like young, blonde hair. Or like you'll find a pattern. That's what I'm trying to say. Of victims, you know what I mean? But there's no pattern here. It goes from little boys to young college students to elderly people. So there's no pattern. You know what I mean?
There's like no motive.
There's no motive. Oh no, so there's no motive. The only thing is, I guess you can say, is they're all like not helpless, but like they're all by themselves. They're never in a group. But like the first one wasn't a group, but she
went by herself.
She went by herself essentially. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much the. I mean,
that's crazy.
If I went to Vermont or Maine over there, I would definitely not go there. I'm telling you right now. And it's in the woods? Oh, hell no. I would definitely not go there.